Good morning, traders. Welcome to the live trading room. I hope you are all doing well. For those that are joining us for the first time, the live trading room is meant for only identification of trade setups. We're looking for entry opportunities and look at trade management, where we're going to put stop loss and take profits on the trades that we identify. Then at 11 a.m. GMT, we've got technical analysis, live technical analysis of different groups of pairs. So the next session at 11 a.m. is going to be a live technical session on US dollar pairs. So what happens in those sessions is we go through the charts from historical data all the way down to the lowest time frame, so you can understand the medium to long-term view of the forecasts. So where you'll also find the recording of that session under each and every group of pairs here. So for example, under US dollar pairs, just need to make sure that I'm logged in here. So under US dollar pairs, you're going to find the video for the US dollar pair analysis that is going to be done at 11 a.m. GMT, which is about 1300 South African time. So that is the video. This is the video from last week. So there's going to be a new one this week. So there's a video on US dollar pairs every week. Then the following tomorrow is going to be the yen pairs and so forth. So these details and gives a good explanation of how we're forecasting, or explanation of the charts that you see here. Right, so that is what the difference between the two sessions. So I am not going through all the pairs. We're scanning through the markets to identify trade setups. So I'm saying that because you find that someone will say, but you didn't do that one, you didn't do that one. So that's not the idea. The idea is not for me to come and we call out charts and then we analyze them. The idea is that we identify trade setups. Okay, so let's do that. So we'll start with some trades of the week here, rather charts of the week, not necessarily a trade of the week. Let's have a look at what we're looking at here. Let's start with the crypto chart. It's Ripple. Then we're going to come to the Forex chart. So Ripple, this is what we're looking at. The cryptocurrencies are pretty interesting. In the next coming sessions, we'll look at them as well. We'll look at the cryptocurrencies. Not all of them, just look at the trade setup. So we are looking at Ripple to be doing this and pushing up higher. So we've got this move to the downside. We've got this move to the downside. We've got a pullback. Let me get my ruler here. Straight with straight lines. So we've got 1, 2, 3 to the downside. Okay. Now we're looking for Ripple to push to the upside. Now, that is the forecast, but is that how it's playing out? So far, we are seeing these 3 waves on Ripple. Let's go to Ripple and see how this is playing out so far. If we go to the Ripple chart, yes, we've already got a bit of a move to the upside that we forecasted, but let's see what it looks like. Ripple. So that is the forecast on that reversal area. So this is what I meant by a bit tricky. This could very well simply be a 3-wave pullback, and we start seeing Ripple push to the downside. Now, if you look at the RSI and the stock RSI, if this starts dipping below 50 here, we're going to see a Ripple come back down. Now, let's look at the bigger structure. If it comes back down, what structure will it be making? So you may find that Ripple gives us this structure. So we've got the 3 waves to the downside. We've got 3 waves at the moment. We've got these 3 waves. We're going to go to the actual chart. We've got the 3 waves. Now we've gone up. So far, it is 3 waves. It could be 3 waves, or it could be the start of the impulse to the upside in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we need to wait for this confirmation here. If we're going to get this confirmation, we're going to have this at the bottom. We're going to have this above 50. We're going to start looking for upside. But even that upside, we're going to cap it here. This is the area where if we get that trade, we're going to move to break even, because at that level, this can give us a flat like this before we push to the upside. This is how we're going to manage this trade. Okay, so that is Ripple. Let's have a look at the chart and where this comes from. So the chart on Ripple is this one, and this is where we are. We're currently looking at this as a wave 4 and looking for this to go all the way for a 5. Okay, looks to be going a bit slow now, but let's wait and see if we're going to get a 1 hour correction. This will actually be a confirmation of upside. If we get out of this structure, if we get out of this corrective structure, that will be confirmation that we are ready to make a push to the upside. So Ripple needs to push up, push out of this structure, possibly even break out of this, pull back, and then a push to the upside. That's how we're going to be looking at this wave 4 to get the next move to the upside. So that is our chart of the week on Ripple. Keep an eye on it. If that does not happen, you may even get this one making a 1, a 2, even if we push up higher and then we come back down here and then upside. That will mean simply that we've got 3 waves here, 3 waves here. So this current move to the upside can make a double, and we get a double. So we get a WXY corrective structure. That those will be a decent corrective structure for us to take it further up. So let's keep an eye on that. Another chart of the week is US dollar PLN. This we've posted the exotic pairs. So let's have a look at US dollar PLN. So the expectation on US dollar PLN here is that we're going to have a pullback and then continuation to the downside. So the trade setups are not necessarily the trades that the charts that we've got listed. US dollar PLN, as you know, we don't have it listed as one of the instruments, but as long as we see a trade setup, we'll post it up there as well. So we're looking for this and then a pullback, but this is still pushing lower. We don't have this pullback as yet. So how are we going to attempt this? Are we going to handle this? Is we're only going to take the sell. So we got disconnected there, guys. Apologies. Let's continue. Everything should be fine now. We got disconnected. Yes, everybody should be back now. All good. Right. So let's have a look at the chart on US dollar PLN. We have not got that reversal that we're looking at. We have not got that pullback that we're looking at as yet. What we're looking for is for this to push lower, give us a pullback, and then continuation to the downside. So this pullback is where we are going to sell to the downside. We don't have it as yet. So we've got what looks like it's going to be another continuation pattern here. So this could be another continuation pattern, can still push lower and then give us the 3-wave to the upside. Let's see how this plays out in this week and see if we're going to get this move to the downside. That is how we're going to be looking at US dollar PLN. And another chart of the week is US dollar SEK. So US dollar SEK is the same. You can see it's exactly the same structure. We've got 3 waves up. We've got a pulsing move down already. We're looking for this pullback. If you remember US dollar chief, we're expecting this to do the DXY. We're looking for the DXY to give us this pullback before continuation to the downside. So we'll be looking for that wave 2 to get this trade to the downside. Currently, we're just coming down straight in a straight line, but we don't have the pullback as yet. So we'll be looking for that pullback. So that is US dollar SEK. Let's have a look at it. No pullback as yet. No pullback as yet. So this is one single impulse that looks like 5 waves. Now we're going to expect a 3-wave pullback. Okay, so we're going to expect a 3-wave pullback from there, and then we'll look for downside. That's what we're looking at today. Right, so those are the trades that we've got on listed as charts of the week. Let's have a look at some of the trade setups. Let's just do a bit of a quick update. You've already seen these updates yesterday. We will be posting up new trade setups as and when they confirm. Let's just go through this. So Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand, nothing has changed. Let's just have a look at Euro New Zealand. Let's update Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand is dropping from that forecasted area. We're currently here. We're currently in this corrective structure. This looks like a corrective structure. Let's check if this is going to continue the drop. Still going to continue the drop. This is a continuation pattern that is not a reversal. So we're looking at this as a corrective structure. Yes, we may get this one coming down correctively, but eventually this will be a continuation to the downside. So if you've got the trade on Euro New Zealand where we got the entry here, you can just hold on to that. We will get that corrective structure. We'll continue to the downside. Move it to break even. Okay, moving to break even. That is Euro New Zealand. We also have a pound Audi. Pound Audi, as discussed yesterday during the weekly outlook, just because there is this move here does not mean that the trade is over. Okay, so look at the indicators. It's telling you that whatever impulse that we've got here does not mean anything. We are still continuing to the downside. So the bias is still to the downside. Okay, so it's just a candle currently, does not mean anything. Yes, this can still do this and continue to the downside. But so far, what we've got here is bias to the downside. We're looking for the downside still. New Zealand, the same, we're still looking at downside here. Okay, this one has hit the target around here, but the setup on the website, the forecast is much lower. So that will still continue to the downside. We're getting this as a three-wave pullback here on the boundary line. Let's take this off. This one is done, it's played out. Let's see how many pips that was. It was a nice, easy trade setup. Pound New Zealand, same time as pound Audi. Simple 250 pips there. Now, this is not a trade, guys. Those that did not take it here, this is not a trade setup. Only if you took it here, then you can hold on to this one and let it run based on this. All right, so refer to your stock and the RSI indicator course video to understand how we look at this. Those are the trade setup: Euro New Zealand, Pound Audi, Euro US dollar, and Pound CAD. Let's start with Pound CAD before we go to Euro US dollar. Pound CAD is showing us upside here. We did say that this can make a three-wave pullback here and continue to the downside, but this is starting to slow down. It's going down here pretty slowly, and it may give us a ending diagonal. So we can get this one as 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 to end this move. It's coming down pretty slowly. So let's just watch that. There's no trade set up there. And Euro US dollar has just broken up higher from this continuation pattern here, as well as Audi. So we are going to continue to the upside. This is a continuation pattern. You can take this. You just need to be careful with this. If we get to around 121 on this, move it to break even, because remember the structure that we're expecting. We're looking at this as 5 waves. We're looking at this as 5 waves to the upside, and then we're going to be looking for a deeper correction before we get a move to the upside. Let's have a look here on the chart. The trade setup on the Euro US dollar. So we took it from 194. We're currently at 2024, almost 100 pips here. Almost 100 pips. So we're looking for this one to push up higher. Yes, this is representing the whole of wave 5. But if we go internally in the lower degree on Euro US dollar, let's have a look here on Euro US dollar under the USD pairs. Those that are not following us on Twitter yet, please do so. That's where you'll get notified when the charts are updated. Currently, the charts have been updated yesterday. We'll be updating them during the New York session. So Euro US dollar 1 hour chart, to give you a clear view. As you can see here, we're looking for this to continue to the upside, but then we are going to expect a pullback before we push to the upside. That pullback could even be at the 50% of the whole leg. Okay, so that is why you need to be careful even if we're getting a breakout currently to the upside, that we are looking at this as 5 waves here, and then we're going to get this one. So this will be a nice entry to ride it for that wave 3. And those are the trade setups. Let's run, as we're running through Euro US dollar, let's go through the DXY. The DXY will obviously continue lower. Will obviously continue lower because that's the inverse of Euro US dollar. There's no new trade setup. Also, these are 5 waves here. Now, after these 5 waves, we're going to get a pullback in 3, then we can sell it down. So I'd be very interested in this trade again here if we get this pullback. That is the DXY. Let's run through the pound US dollar. Pound US dollar may be ready for a move to the upside. We've been looking for pound US dollar to rally down or to push down into the blue box and make a push to the upside here. So we may not go to the blue boxes. We're seeing here that the 4-hour is now well above 50 and the daily. We'll check the structure now. And the daily is just starting to push to the upside as well. So the structure on pound US dollar could even be something like this. Where you've got this as a running flat. And this one starting with a leading diagonal. Now, wherever this is going to be a pullback, we're going to look for upside there. So the daily is above 50. We had this strong divergence here when this was coming down here. That was a strong divergence. Okay, so now it looks like we are breaking out of this structure. Any corrective structure in the lower degrees, the 4-hour and the 1-hour, will be an opportunity to take pound up higher. So that looks like the downside move has ended. So let's wait and see if we're going to get a pullback here. Then we'll take it up higher. That's not a trade setup. US dollar chief pushing down lower with the DXY. US dollar CAD, as you know, every time you get this, every time it does this, you're looking for sell setups. Okay, so we have been talking about US dollar CAD sell for months now. Now we may be getting to a structure like this here. Let's switch off here and see this. So we've got this move here on US dollar CAD. There's a possibility of this one here. Let's have a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there's a possibility that this one bounces up here. We've got these 3 waves down here. We could get a bounce up here and make a bounce here and complete this flat, then come down as follows. Then that will complete this structure. Let's see how this is going to play out. This is not a trade. You'll see the detailed forecast later this afternoon. Okay, Audi US dollar. All indications are for upside. We've just broken out of this structure. 4-hour hasn't closed above the flag as yet, but it looks like it will. The 1-hour has already closed above the flag. As you can see, we're already above the flag. Although there's no trade setup on the 1-hour, this trade setup is on the 4-hour. As you can see, the 1-hour has already closed there, but doesn't mean anything until the 4-hour confirms, because that's where the trade is. Okay, so just wait for that 4-hour candle to close, and then you look to take it up higher. Why would we take it up higher? We did not get to the blue box. That's not a trade smash. According to the rules and the guideline, it is not a requirement that they do. It's just that when they do get to the blue box, it just sort of gives more probability of the trade to play out. So we've got that 3 waves. So we've started with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like the Audi is going for the 5 waves, similar to what Euro US dollar has done. We've got 5 waves there. We're pushing up higher for the 5th in the green, and then we look for a pullback before pushing up higher. That is Audi. So the trade that we will look for on Audi is currently, you can actually take the trade currently when this candle closes on the 4-hour. Just be mindful of the fact that we may get a reversal before it pushes up higher. This looks like 1, 2, 3. We're going for the 5. You can take it, you must just be able to manage it. But the best one to take is after the 5 waves and then upside. New Zealand, same, and you'll see that the indicators on Audi and New Zealand are doing exactly the same things, exactly the same corrective structure as you can see here. We are at the bottom, we are above 50 here. US dollar ZAR, obviously, it's one of the exotic pairs. So US dollar ZAR is pushing lower with the exotic pairs. So you see what happened with that pullback. It's still coming down because of the weakness in the US dollar. We said that yesterday during the weekly outlook. Pound, yen. Guys, the trade setup here, not the cleanest one. So pound yen looks like it will drop. Not necessarily a trade setup, because if this starts pushing lower, the indicators are showing us downside, as you can see. If we start breaking lower here, this could be the end of the move. So that's why I'm saying it is not necessarily a trade setup. If you want to take a chance and just trade that short move, you can do so. But at this level, we may get this one coming down here and then pushing up higher, because the structure on pound yen, let's show you. Let's look at the structure on pound yen. You see here, did I open the right one? No, not the right pair. We want yen pairs, not pound pairs. Pound yen for hour, we are here. This is why the indicator is supporting downside as well. Then we'll be looking for upside. Now, be mindful of something here. Let's have a look at this chart, looking at this with the naked eye. We have placed our wave 3 here, and looking at this whole thing as a wave 4. We may be wrong with that, but it does not change the bias. So what could be happening here is that this is actually the wave 3 in purple. Now, if that is the wave 3 in purple, that means the wave 5 in that white degree will be here, and this one will be the wave 3 here. This will be the wave 4 here. Okay, so we end the move here in this area, then we correct with the purple as follows before we push to the upside. So this current pullback could just be all a correction that we require to push to the upside. Now that will just be 1, 2, 3, and then upside. This one being a 3, and this one being a 4. Simple as that. So let's have a look at that structure. So if that is the case, if this is all the correction, if this is making a 3-wave correction, pound yen, that means this may go a bit lower. So then we'll look for this. So watch out for that. So this one will be coming down. In the next coming session, we'll see this one drop. Okay. We'll see this one drop from current levels. US dollar yen, our forecast is for this to give us a 3-wave pullback and then upside. We don't have the confirmation of that as yet. I want to jump on to Audi CAD. So Audi CAD, that trade looks like it's going to be invalidated. We're looking for this one to have made a 3-wave structure and then reverse. We'll remember we took this one from the blue box last week. We are back at break even. I'm actually taking this one off for now. You can actually take it off as well and wait for another entry for downside. So AudiCAD, closing that trade. Let's run through, those are the yen pairs. Now, Euro yen failed to break out of the triangle, and the triangle has been invalidated. This was the triangle yesterday. It was an inch perfect triangle until it didn't play out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're coming down here. What structure are we getting here on Audi? Let's wait for it to give us a little bit more data. So we'll be looking for this to be a whole corrective structure here. So there's possibilities here. One of the possibilities is that this correction starts as follows. We've got an impulse. We've got 3 waves down here. We've got an impulse. And that will give us this structure. Okay, so we will watch Euro US dollar push up higher if it breaks above that level, this level. Chief yen, I'm just running through the yen pairs now. Still just showing us a pullback. We'll look for this one to complete and look for upside. CAD yen, similar to pound yen, we could be having this here. One more down and then upside. This will be an ABC corrective structure. So let's watch how this is going to play out. New Zealand. So New Zealand looks to be making this continuation pattern. It needs to close above this for us to confirm that forecast from yesterday to do that. Audi yen. So Audi yen, just one second. Right, let's resume. So Audi US dollar, we're looking for this to continue to the upside. We have made the 3 waves here. This is making another continuation to the upside. This is hardly a trade. As much as we can see upside, let's see if there is even upside. As much as we can see upside, that's hardly a trade, because if we do get upside, it should be limited to around this area. Gold. I'm still not yet in the gold trade, but it looks like it is now confirmed. Now we'll look for a pullback. We'll wait for any pullback that happens on gold. So it looks like this move has ended on gold as follows. At the C here with these 3 waves in W purple, 3 waves in, this would be ABC in purple, X, A, B, C as follows. Now we've started a move to the upside. So that means that is not a flat correction. And with that one more down that we wanted as per our block did not happen, and we are ready for a push to the upside. So we've got a move to the upside. Is this going to be a 5-wave move before we get a pullback? Let's see. Right, so it does not matter that we didn't get the first part of the move. That's not a problem. That just means now if you're going to take this trade, it is now a high probable trade than you would if you had just taken it here. Because if you had just taken it there, then there was a likelihood that you lose the trade if it gives you this continuation pattern, come down into the blue box and then reverse. So let's wait and see if gold is going to give us an opportunity. Silver is pushing up higher. Now, because of the push to the upside with gold, looks like silver may be starting a diagonal as well for more upside. Platinum, I'm on the daily here. So it looks like platinum may give us this structure. 1, 2, 3. This is what we're getting on platinum. well, it may retest this highs here, this recent highs. Then we have this A, B, and a C before pushing up higher. Okay, so that's on the daily. Brent crude. So Brent crude yesterday, we looked at this one to be making a three-wave corrective structure, and that's how we forecasted that. From here, it is now at that level. Now, is that going to give us a reversal there? Because what we were forecasting was that this is 5, this is 3, and this is another 3, and then we look for upside. So let's look in the lower degree for hour. For hour is showing us continuation to the upside and the strong momentum for upside. So oil is going to push up higher from current levels. So from here, we're going to see oil push a little bit higher. Pound chief. Right, so pound chief, look at this continuation pattern here. This is a trade setup for downside. So pound chief, you can actually sell from now. As soon as this candle on pound chief closes below this flag, you can see the 4 hour is confirming for us that the pound chief is going to push lower. Now, why is it that pound US dollar is pushing up higher, but pound chief is pushing lower? That could be simply because of the chief in it. So here's the trade setup. As soon as this closes below this flag, that is a trade. So this is how we're going to enter. Short position. Short position. Entry at the close of the flag. Stop loss just above there. So how many points is that stop? It's going to be about 97 pip stop. That's fine, because the focus to the downside is much lower. So the risk to reward ratio is actually good here, because this could go, we'll project the blue box now. We'll project where we're forecasting the targets to be. So the target is here at the blue box. When this closes, we'll look for this to run down the blue box. And we'll have the blue box projected there. That's our trade setup on pound chief. That's the trade setup on pound chief. So what I'll do here, I will move this a little bit lower. You can see that we've been looking for this to sell this when it breaks lower, but it never triggered. So now, in order to get a tighter stop, because if we're taking it at the break of this boundary, the stop is going to be even further. So we want it here on this leg. Okay, so I'm putting my flag a little bit further, and I'm going to put an alert on that line, so that when it gets to this level, it would already been breaking out. So we'll take this one off. That was the previous alert. Let's take it off. This is how we're managing pound chief. Right. We've got one. Just watching this and see if it is executable right now. That is pound chief. I'm going to take an aggressive entry on that. Good, so let's watch that. This one we already discussed. Pound Audi we already discussed. As you can see, that's the power of the indicator. That's the power of the indicator. If you didn't have an indicator, you would have thought this is an impulse and it's going to the upside. So we're still looking for more downside there. Same as pound New Zealand. I'm just going through this again just so you can see that this moves to the downside have resumed and our trades are still for holding. So our trades are still for holding. And pound looks like it's going to give us an expanding flat here as follows. And this will be a continuation for upside. So any trade setup for upside here on Euro Pound, we're going to be looking to take it to the upside. So we'll monitor that. Currently, there's no trade setup. Euro Audi. Euro Audi, that's another trade setup. All confirmations are for downside. As you can see, we're going to get another leg to the downside here. So Euro Audi, here is a trade setup. For another short position, already confirmed. We're just going to put in a modest target. We don't want to put it too far. We know that this can go much lower, but for now, we're just going to target the lower boundary of that whole correction. And our target will be around this level. Okay, it has already confirmed. This one is ready to go. So we'll hold on to that one. Right, let's look at some more. Euro New Zealand, the same, but this one does not have a nice trade setup like Euro Audi does. But we're looking for continuation to the downside. All indications are for downside. EuroCAD setting up for another leg up higher. The flag is not so neat. The flag is not so neat. So you may want to only take it when it breaks above that level. So you're looking for upside. That is EuroCAD. EuroChief. Downside. Failed to push up higher. So we've got 3 waves down there, 3 waves up. We'll look for another 3 waves to the downside there. So EuroChief is pushing lower as well. So AudiCAD was one of the trades that we took last week. So that one is upset. It looks to have been invalidated, did not play out from the blue box. AudiChief looking for a setup to the upside with this corrective structure, but not a good one to take. That is AudiChief. Let's look at Audi New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD pushing up higher, no trade set up there because I was actually looking for this to be a correction and then downside. So we're going to leave this one. New Zealand Chief. New Zealand Chief. Also just a straight line, another straight line. If it's going to be a decent correction, we must have something like this. So far, there's neither. We'll look for this to push up higher. CAD. Nothing there. Continuation pattern. We'll see this one push lower. Let's go to the cryptocurrencies. I'm not going to go through the indices. As you know, the story with the indices has not changed. S&P 500 at 417. Nothing has changed from yesterday until today. I want to go through the cryptocurrencies. So we've made that flat structure on Bitcoin. Looks like we're going to see new highs now. This was a squeeze. It was to get rid of the weekends. Okay. So we'll be looking for Bitcoin to give us this and then upside. That's exactly how we saw it yesterday, that there's a possibility for that to be a 3, 3, and a 5. Once that happens, we'll see a wave 5. So how do we manage this? We are still below 50 as far as the 1 hour is concerned. What we want is for this to give us a corrective structure for more upside. Because if you look at this structure, in the lower degree, this so far looks like a three-way move. You won't see it because it's just an impulse. This candle shows us that this price went down to this level. It traveled to that area, it came back here, went down to that price level, and then pushed up higher. That's what we're seeing on Bitcoin. So for us to confirm that this is not necessarily just a three-wave move and then we're going to see continuation to the downside, we need to have a trade setup at current levels. So let's see if we're going to have a trade setup or continuation pattern there. That's the same story on all the cryptocurrencies. We've had those sharp moves. Now the question is whether these are three waves and we're going to see downside before pushing up higher. Then that means this will be an ABC corrective structure. Litecoin, same. Now, if you look at Litecoin 4 hour, we can see that the RSI is below 50, but this is in the middle of nowhere. So we cannot make a decision that that is going down. The 1 hour, however, is showing us a clear setup for downside. So we've got 1, 2, 3 on the 1 hour, and then it looks like we're about to drop. Okay, so let's see. If Litecoin is clear and we're going to drop, we're going to see the others do the same as well. XRP, our trade of the week, we're looking for this one to push up higher, provided from current levels, we start seeing a continuation to the upside. Otherwise, this can very well be a simple three-wave structure and continue to the downside. Those are all the pairs. That's what we're looking at today. Trade setups will be posted on the website as and when they confirm, and look out for the live technical analysis in about 2 hours from now. Cheers, everybody. We'll be with Sadile in the afternoon. Bye-bye.